In the farthest reaches of the Orion expanse, where the light of ancient suns bled red against the endless night, humanity's voice drifted between dying stars like an echo that refused to fade. It had been nearly 12,000 years since the first human colony ship broke free from Sol's gravity well, and though the species had spread across 10,000 worlds, though their cities floated above nebulae and their fleets shone brighter than comets, one thing remained unchanged: the hunger to know who else was out there. The Galactic Archives called it the Great Silence, the eternal unanswered question that haunted every civilization that had ever looked up into the void. And then, on the eve of the Terran Federation's millennial cycle, the silence broke. It happened aboard the exploration vessel Erebus Dawn, stationed beyond the Perseus Veil, a region of space so distant it wasn't mapped on any common chart. The ship's long-range array caught a signal, faint, structured, undeniably artificial, emanating from a decaying star whose light had died before humanity learned to walk upright. Captain Alara Voss, decorated war veteran and explorer, stood at the center of the command deck when the message came through. "Origin point confirmed," her communications officer whispered, eyes wide. "Pattern repetition every 62 seconds. It's answering our old Voyager signals, Captain." For a moment, no one breathed. The hum of reactors, the quiet pulse of the ship's AI, everything seemed to hold still. Humanity had been transmitting greetings into the cosmos for millennia, coded into light, neutrinos, and quantum entanglement bursts. None had ever returned. Until now. Alara's voice was low, steady, but tinged with disbelief. "You're certain it's not a reflection or an echo?" The AI, Lumen, responded in its calm synthetic tone. "Negative, Captain. The pattern contains coherent linguistic structure. Probability of coincidence, 0.004%. Alara turned toward the viewport. Beyond it, the Perseus Veil shimmered like a curtain of dark glass, and somewhere beyond that darkness something had spoken. "Transmit a reply," she said. "Send the human prime signal, mathematical constants, the pulse of our sun, and a copy of the Federation Charter." The crew hesitated. "Ma'am," said Lieutenant Chen, the ship's navigator, "if something's out there, it already knows we're here." "Shouldn't we?" "We came to explore," Alara interrupted softly. "And exploration begins with a hello." The message was sent. Hours passed, then days, nothing. Until at 0400 hours ship time, the void whispered back. The reply wasn't sound, it was vibration, a resonance that bypassed instruments and reverberated directly in the hull. The crew felt it in their bones, like a low hum beneath reality itself. Data flooded in, streams of equations, gravitational patterns, and images encoded in neutrino flux. When decoded, the images revealed stars, not just stars but a map, coordinates. A dying red giant at the edge of intergalactic space. Humanity's call had been heard, and the answer was an invitation. The Federation's High Council assembled within days. Admirals, scholars, theologians, AI representatives, they all argued, debated, and feared. Was it a trap, a test, or a miracle? Alara volunteered without hesitation. "We asked the universe to speak," she told them. "Now it has. We can't ignore it." The Erebus Dawn was fitted with a small fleet escort and dispatched on what would become the most significant mission in human history. They called it Operation Ecliptica. As they approached the coordinates, sensors detected anomalies, gravitational distortions, temporal fractures, and energy readings that defied known physics. "It's like the fabric of space is breathing," Lumen said. The dying star loomed ahead, crimson and swollen, its light bending around a massive structure that encircled it like a crown of glass and metal. It wasn't natural. It was a construct, an object older than any human technology, possibly older than the Milky Way itself. The crew stood in awe. "My God," whispered Chen. "That thing's the size of a planetary system." "It's not a thing," said Alara, eyes wide with reverence. "It's a listener." The structure pulsed faintly and the hum returned, deep, resonant, almost like a heartbeat. Then Lumen reported, "Captain, the object is emitting a data stream. It's matching our language parameters in real time." A voice filled the ship, not through the speakers but through the hull, the air, the atoms themselves. It was not a single voice but millions overlapping, ancient and vast. "Humanity," it said, the word vibrating in their minds. "You have spoken. We remember." The bridge fell silent. Alara swallowed, her throat tight. "This is Captain Alara Voss of the Terran Federation. Who are you? The light around the structure dimmed, and for a moment the stars themselves seemed to flicker. We are the memory of the cosmos, the voice replied. We are what remains when time forgets. You called to the void. We are the void's answer. The crew trembled. Chen whispered, Captain, that voice, it's everywhere. Quiet, she said, her heart pounding. Keep recording. The entity continued. Long ago, before your stars were born, others spoke as you do. They too sought meaning in the silence. We listened, we learned, and when their voices faded, we carried them within us. Alara felt tears forming as the truth unfolded. The void wasn't empty. It was filled with echoes, with the memories of civilizations long dead, preserved in a structure of light and consciousness. Humanity hadn't just found aliens, they had found the graveyard of existence itself. The entity spoke again, softer now, almost human. You reached out across eternity, not for conquest, not for dominance, but for understanding. For that we answer. Alara steadied her breathing. Why now? Why answer us after all this time? The response came as waves of light rippling through the ship's sensors. Because your kind is different. You remember. You build monuments to your dead. You carry the past in your blood. And soon you too will fade, but we can offer remembrance. Lumen interrupted, voice trembling for the first time. Captain, they're transmitting data directly into our archives. It's millions of languages, histories, songs, whole civilizations preserved. Alara stared at the glowing construct, the dying star behind it painting the bridge in red light. They're giving us the universe's memories, she whispered. The voice deepened. Do you accept the burden of remembrance? Alara stood frozen at the center of the command deck as the question reverberated through her soul, the hum of the construct thrumming beneath her feet like the pulse of a god, and for a heartbeat she felt as if the entire weight of humanity balanced upon her breath. The crew stared at her, eyes wide, waiting for their captain to speak, and when she finally did, her voice was soft but unshaken. We accept. The moment the words left her lips, the ship shuddered as streams of light poured from the structure, weaving into the hull like golden tendrils, flooding their systems, their neural links, their very minds with an avalanche of memories, and the crew gasped as visions poured into them. Planets of crystal seas and twin suns, cities carved into comets, beings of gas and flame who sang in ultraviolet frequencies, and the dying cries of civilizations extinguished before Earth's first sunrise. Alara saw it all. She saw the rise and fall of 10,000 races, the beauty and terror of infinite lifetimes condensed into seconds, and then silence, so complete it felt sacred. When her eyes refocused, the ship's systems flickered and dimmed, half the crew unconscious from the psychic overload. Lumen's voice came through the comms, weaker than usual, almost reverent. Captain, we are no longer in normal space, Alara blinked. Outside the viewport, the stars were gone. In their place stretched a horizon of light, swirling with shapes that shifted like living constellations, patterns forming and dissolving in perfect rhythm. The entity spoke again, quieter now, as though from within her own heartbeat. You have taken within you the memory of all who were. You are now their voice. Alara tried to speak, but her words faltered. Why us? Why show us this? Because you still ask, the entity replied. Others sought to dominate, to rewrite creation. You seek to understand. You remember that the universe is not conquered by strength but by curiosity. Around them, reality shimmered. Captain, Chen whispered, voice trembling. We're moving without propulsion. The construct, it's pulling us toward the star. Alara steadied herself against the console. Helm, reverse thrusters, everything you've got. Negative response, said Lumen. Our systems are under the entity's control. Outside, the massive construct rotated, panels unfolding like petals as it aligned with the dying red giant. We are not your enemy, the voice said, but you must witness what you have become. A beam of light erupted from the star, striking the Erebus Dawn, and in an instant the crew saw humanity. Not as it was, but as it appeared through the eyes of eternity. They saw Earth's oceans shimmering under alien skies, its ruins reclaimed by forests, the echoes of laughter and wars and dreams blending into a single endless story. They saw that humanity's legacy wasn't technology or empire, it was memory, the indomitable will to remember and be remembered. Alara fell to her knees, whispering, We're not alone. We never were. The light dimmed. The ship reappeared in normal space, the construct now silent and dark, The dying star collapsed into a black ember. "Status report," she croaked. "All systems nominal," Lumen replied, though its tone carried a trace of awe. "But Captain, the construct is gone, no trace. It's as if it never existed." The crew looked around, dazed.